All right, bringing it in real close. If you're a Kindle user, today guys, we are going to talk about how you can use the new Kindle Scribe for digital planning and note-taking. I'm going to show you how to use the pen tool, the highlighting tools, how to create notes and start journaling, and more importantly, how to use this device for planning. So stay with me. If you got through all of that, you're probably asking yourself, what am I getting myself into? I'm Brandon Bonderfer, founder and creator of the Key to Success Planning System. And today, guys, we're going to talk about the newly released Kindle Scribe. A little bit of background on this device is for so many years, the Kindle has been the e-reader of choice. It was an electronic book. I mean, you could use this thing wherever you wanted. If you were in bed, if you were on the beach, in sunlight, at night, it was there to help you read those books, learn, discover, create, whatever it is that you wanted to enjoy. But today, guys, the Scribe is introducing itself as an e-paper device, electronic paper. And with that comes a lot of explanation. Now, there's been a number of e-paper devices over the last few years that have really taken their mark, such as the Remarkable, the Onyx Box, Supernote. These are all devices that line up in the e-paper category. But do they line up in the e-reader category? Many of them that use Android, such as the Onyx Books, will allow you to be able to download the Kindle app, but the experience is nothing like it is when it comes to reading a book on the Kindle itself. So if you are someone that has had a passion for reading, loved your Kindle, but now want to write, this could very well be the device for you. The hardware on this device is absolutely awesome. The writing is super clear with 300 ppi. That stands almost, quick math, 20% sharper than a Remarkable at 227 ppi. Maybe it's 226, but who's counting? When you compare the writing on this device compared to the Remarkable, it's cleaner, it's sharper. It's also more recognizable. The other thing about this device that's really cool when it comes to the hardware is the backlit screen. Now, if you are an e-paper user, you're going to tell me, Brandon, hey, I don't like the extra space that you had to put in the screen to allow for that backlit display. But if you are someone that's writing in a low lit environment, that backlit display is going to be absolutely fabulous to help you take those notes that you want to. Now, when I first got this device, I was really impressed with the overall look and feel of it. I showed in another video the structure of it, the weight comparison of it, the rubber feet on the bottom of it. So if you guys want to learn about this device and how it lines up against other e-readers and other e-paper devices, you're going to want to go ahead and check out that video. The link is in the description. But today, guys, we're going to talk about the Kindle Scribe and how you can actually use it for taking notes and use it for a daily planner, for a journal, for a place for you to jot down all those thoughts and ideas. And also with that, we're also going to show you how you can take notes inside those books you are reading. So first off, let's talk about the pen itself. We're actually looking at the premium pen that you can upgrade to that has this button here on the side. This allows you to create some customized shortcuts, which we're going to show you how to utilize here in a few minutes. But with this pen, we have a writing tip, the third button, and an eraser. So when we are on our actual planning page here, you will see this will actually collapse and open up and expand our tools. This top one here is the pen tool. Now when I click on the pen tool, I have a couple different options as far as writing thickness goes. Fine, thin, medium, thick, and heavy. And we'll just go ahead and hit thin, and we're just going to put the word coffee down. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on thick, and just below that I'll write the word coffee, just so you get an idea how the thickness changes there. And if I zoom in, you can see the clarity of how well that note is taken on this particular page. Very clean, very crisp. So zooming back out, you can choose a standard writing thickness of your choice. But now you also have the ability to use the highlighter. And the same thing goes here. We have different thicknesses. Now when I use the highlighter, it creates like a gray image over top. So we can go ahead and create that gray image. You can see it definitely allows you to recognize how that highlighter looks. If I page back 2 pages, you're going to see how I utilize that highlighter on my daily planning page here. You can see that these blocks of time really do stand out when it comes to actually being able to use the highlighter tool. But the eraser tool is the next thing, and this allows us to go ahead and erase, and it has the same ability to go ahead and erase the entire page. You can erase the selection, and then we also have the ability to erase by thickness. And I generally keep the thickness slightly larger than my writing, just so I can cover an area. So I can go ahead and I can erase, and then I can go ahead and write. Now, I'm going to go ahead and erase that again and introduce one more tool to you. Here we have the undo button. If you click on the undo button, you'll see that it brings back our note. If I hit the redo button, you'll see that it takes our note away. So that's actually a really nice feature to have, be able to jump back and forth and have the undo button and the redo button. The last thing I'll show you is the hand tool. What this allows us to do, it allows us to zoom in, zoom out, and we can also pan with that tool. But basically it disables the pen itself. So we can actually almost use the pen as an actual tool itself. So if we want to use the pen to navigate instead of using our finger, we can do that when we're in pen mode. That's not common in many other e-paper devices. You either have to use the stylus or the pen to be able to navigate, but with the finger tool, we now can take the stylus and turn it into a tool that we can use to navigate throughout the system, throughout the planning system itself. So I told you we'd talk about this pen tool. Now you know that an eraser is going to allow us to help erase, and you can clearly see that here. And we have this stylus that'll help us to write a message. Now let's go say we're going to add with Sam. So we're having coffee with Sam here. Now I was able to take my shortcut, and I'll show you how to change that in a second. And I can click and hold on this, and I have it set now that that shortcut there is actually the highlighting tool. That to me is a really big feature. Going into settings here, you can click on pen. You can click on pen shortcuts, and you can see right here I can choose to have highlighter, pen, eraser, or a sticky note. Right now, like I said, I have it set up to be the highlighter. For me, that is really huge because now I have all the instruments that I generally use for taking notes, pen, highlighter, and eraser, really at the tip of my fingers just by utilizing the stylus itself. I don't have to jump back into the tools and navigate between the different utensils. With the Remarkable and other e-paper devices, I have to go back into those tools, check the pen to, then go back and check the highlighter tool. And that to me just adds a little bit of frustration when I'm planning. Here, if I can take a quick note and I can go ahead and easily highlight with it. A couple additional things I want to share with you about the Kindle Scribe before I jump into showcasing the planner itself is first and foremost, as of now, this device has incredibly awesome hardware. However, it is lacking a lot of those functions that we see in other e-paper devices. And one of those functions is being able to rotate to landscape mode. So far, we are only able to utilize this in a portrait mode. Now you can take the device and you can take it and you can turn it and it'll rotate for those that are left-handed versus right-hand, or those that want to turn it left-hand versus right-hand. You could easily do that. But it doesn't allow us to actually turn it into a landscape mode. So if you're someone that's looking at using this as a planner and you want to use the landscape version of our system, at this time we include it in all of the purchases of the planning system in the event that there is an update down the road. But at this time, portrait mode is the only real good experience when it comes to planning on this device. As far as navigation goes, we talked about this a little bit. You can use your finger to click on any of the tabs, any of the dates, so we can easily jump from one page to the next by simply touching on that date. We can also use our finger to swipe from left page spread to right page spread, and we can continue to move through the planning system as well. Now, I also told you if you turn on the little finger tool here, now you can use the stylus, and that'll allow you to get back to the key page. The key page is so instrumental in the planning system when it comes to navigation, because when I go to the key page, I have access to all the tools that you're going to become familiar with the planning system when it comes to the key success. We have tools that allow you to plan your goals. We have note pages, and this is really nice. If I can click on this note page in particular and click on a hyperlink for that note page, it'll take me to a designated note page that's linked off of that key page, so that way I can have a series of notes in my planner and always can navigate back to that key page and ultimately be able to find those notes rather fast and conveniently. This allows me to use this key page also as a means of a space to index all my notes. And if you are a business or executive customer, we have meeting pages to allow you to schedule out your meetings. And we also have additional note pages and project pages, which we'll show you guys in a few minutes as we break down this planning system. Now, without further ado, guys, let's learn about the Key to Success Planner and how you can utilize and see this planning system on the Kindle Scribe. One of the first pages that everyone always asks me about is, what does the daily spread look like? This is the daily page. The daily page consists of the planning board, a focus area where you can determine what your focus, your role, and your energy is for today. What is your daily key 3? As you learn more about our system, you're going to learn about the daily key 3. These are the things that matter most in your planning session, and we'll talk about that in tons of training videos as you guys move through the Key to Success system. We have an area where you have to-dos, where you can not only put the priority, mark the delegation of where they're at as far as status, but also be able to help organize if it's a work, if it's a family, if it's something you're going to do when you're traveling, or going to do something during a meeting. Here you have your normal scheduling, which falls just below your morning pre-flight routine and pre-launch activities in the evening. These are the things that are going to help you organize your routine and processes, which is something you'll learn about as we move forward. To the right of that, you have an area for taking notes, meal plan, exercise area. Make sure you drink that water throughout the day. And areas for you to indicate your opportunities and what is on your plate for tomorrow. The next thing everybody asks me is, what's my monthly view page look like? This is the monthly view. Again, we have Monday start. We also have a Sunday start, which you can see that looks like this. And when you're using the system, you can go ahead and take notations. The ideal week we introduced in 2022, the ideal week was really developed for those that were facing some type of seasonal change. How often do we look at a seasonal change in our life? Well, that differs for each and every one of us. For me, a lot of times seasonal change is the seasons of the year. It's my kids in school, out of school. It sometimes happens to do with some of the other priorities in my life, if it be spiritual or housework. But seasonal change takes place. There's seasons in our business. There's just seasons all around us. And by establishing an ideal week as we embark on those seasons, it helps us gain traction and strength, and also helps us have encouragement. Have you ever found yourself just like looking at your week and saying, oh my gosh, I can't find any traction for having any stability? Well, a lot of that is because we went through a season of change and we didn't take the time to harness it back in. We know when these changes and these seasons take place, and if we get into the ideal week, we can look at updating what our focus and where our attention should be in this next season. What is the vision for this season? Where are we going to put the energy? And then how does it affect our morning pre-flight or our routines each and every day? And where is our focus or attention going to be? What is the balance in our time investment? And then ultimately start to write out what the ideal week looks like for you. By using the ideal week, it'll help you give you framework so that you can find more productivity and traction each and every week as you move forward in your daily and weekly planning. The weekly planning page is a review page that I encourage everyone to spend 15 minutes to a half hour on every single week before they start to actually do their planning schedule for the upcoming week. This page here is about reflecting on your accomplishments in the previous week, determining what unfinished business or rolling projects or tasks are going to roll into the next week. Be honest with yourself. What took you off focus? What took you away from being able to achieve the things that you wanted to achieve in the previous week? What is your self-improvement? Are you doing things to help grow who you are? And are you making the commitment? And by writing those down each and every week, what your focus and goals are, it helps you establish better routine so that you can help achieve them. Sometimes I write the same thing over and over. Sometimes I find myself skipping it because I found traction on it, only maybe a few weeks later having to come back to it. But it's healthy for me to recognize what it is that I want to achieve and where I need to put additional energy so that I can focus on the things that matter most in the coming week. Where is our opportunities? what connections lie in front of us. The planning board to me is like that giant whiteboard that you have in front of you. Maybe it's Post-it notes for some of us, stacks of paper of different to-dos, but this is the area where you jot it all down. You can do bullet points, you can do wireframing, but write down everything that you have on your mind, get it all out on paper so you can see it in front of you, and then from there, start to structure. What is the things that matter most that you have to do now? What are things that are critical to your success but can be scheduled or prioritized? What is not so critical? Is there anything that you can reduce from your schedule this week or maybe delegate? Is there areas that you have opportunity to schedule some of these things out or package things together so they make better use of your time? And ultimately, what is the focus and your goals and your emphasis for what matters most this week? And what are things that you need to think about in the coming week that might take a little bit of energy and motivation for you to process as you move forward? Ultimately speaking, this is the digest of the things that matter most, the things that you need to plan out first, and the big tasks that you have in front of you that you need to schedule in your week. From here, as you jump into the week, you can start to do that scheduling throughout the week and know where your key 3 are. And all of that is covered in an in-depth training session. So if you want to learn more about the power of using that weekly planning, I encourage you to check out that on our training page. The monthly review pages are pretty simple. They kind of tell you real quick what is the month look like. You can write on them, you can copy and paste things here. There's some important dates, and all of these pages are hyperlinked, but it's a great at a view, at a glance look at the month in front of us. The quarterly pages we've had for a number of years, and these are in all of our planning systems. These are the pages that help you look at each quarter. I'm a big fan of the 12-week year. We know every year when we start January, we're motivated to grow and to achieve. And as the year progresses, sometimes we lose traction on that growth. Well, looking at quarter by quarter planning, it gives us the opportunity to hit the reset button 4 times a year so that we can refocus, retweak, and reimagine what this year can look like. Start by delegating and designing what that next 13 weeks looks like in the 12-week year. What is the motivation? Where's our focus, our forward momentum, and what routines are we going to continue to have focus on? What influencers and connections are important, and what is the timeline for the different projects and things that we're going to take on? And what is the key spaces that we're going to find our annual growth? Where is our reach and personal development activities really taking place? The second page of the quarterly keys is about progress and reflection. Where was our accomplishment? What areas were we not able to finish? What challenges did we face in this quarter? And what were some of the key results? And what doors are we looking to close? Now, we talk about this a lot in the training section of this quarterly planning page, but closed doors is the area where I feel like we put it back on the shelf, allow for the things around us to develop so we can take that idea, that goal, back down when we're ready to embark on it with better things and better technologies and better organization space around us to help us achieve that. The progress report is a quick area where we can basically write out what our reflection is on the challenges and influences and how the quarter went before we start to plan the next quarter. When I look at it, each quarter, I look at 12 weeks for activity, 1 week for planning, and that brings us to our 13 weeks every single quarter. The vision board is one of the first pages that we developed to help people get an idea for what it is that they wanted to achieve in the coming year. What is your goals? What does your life look like? Where are you going to go? What do you have planned for your career, your family, yourself, your education, your growth? What does it look like? And then when you sum all that up, what is your visionary statement for the year? And then as you look at the individual months that play out, when can you implement some action on your vision? And why this is also very important is you look at the vision board, I tell people you want to write down life moments. If you have vacations, milestones that are taking place, you want to be able to plug those in there, because as you look at these months, you're going to want to also put in any milestones or any things you already have delegated or planned for the upcoming year. Because when you look at where you already have commitments made, it gives you a better opportunity to understand where you can take action on the visionary plans you have for yourself. The annual keys page was built around 4 key areas of our life: our self, our career, our community, and our relationship. The brainstorming section helps us to think and digest where we want to see growth and opportunity in those corners of our life. And then from there, help outline the goals and motivation that we have in those cornerstone areas of our life. The bucket list is a new page in 2023. What we want to do is make the year exciting. We all have excitement when it comes around to the new year every year. And what this bucket list helps us do is helps us understand, well, where is it? What do we want to try? Where do we want to travel to? Is there books that we want to read? Is there things we want to learn, create, build? What do we want to achieve? How do we want to grow? What is it that we want to listen to? Do we have changes for fitness? What do we want to find, and how do we want to lead in this coming year? And this page kind of gives us the opportunities to brainstorm those ideas, get creative with it, get fun with it, and then go ahead and start actually planning out what things we want to achieve on, how we might go about them, and what spaces are we going to find the best results doing them. When we develop the goal pages, each one of the goal pages consists of having a space where you indicate which corner that you're focusing this goal on. What is the summary of that goal? What is your motivation for that goal? A space for you to brainstorm what you need to do to achieve that goal, and then the spot for you to write out an actual action plan for the steps that you need to take to reach your success. And ultimately, what is the reward for you reaching your success with this goal? And that was a look at our personal planner. As we move forward into the professional planner, you gain additional tools that help you organize your professional life. And those tools are going to work on this system, as well as all the templates that you saw from the personal are in this same system as well. The habit tracker is one tool that I was really excited to be able to bring to everyone in 2022. The habit tracker was a tool that we use to help people gain ownership of their habits and help develop not only good habits, but break the habits that are not healthy for our growth. But I didn't want just something where you made a checkbox. I wanted to be something that you could have the opportunity to understand what challenges you faced through the process or what opportunities presented themselves. First and foremost, you start with the ability for you to develop your habits. What are the habits you're looking to break? What is your goal with those habits? And what routines are you going to implement to help you achieve those goals that you have in mind for yourself? And then from here is a space for you to be able to track throughout the entire month each one of the habits. Were you able to complete it and the number of times you were able to complete the habit each and every day as you choose to move through the month? But like I said, the challenges and opportunities section was one that gave me a lot of encouragement. One of my goals was to run 3 miles each and every day, and as I moved through the month, sometimes I found myself presented with some challenges, either it be family or friends that were visiting, vacations or trips that we went on. Through using this habit tracker, I've been able to look at my challenges and build better routines to face those head on and be able to encourage myself to take greater ownership of those opportunities. The meeting pages that we introduced into our planning system are really designed not only to help you be able to attend a meeting and take better notes, but for you to be in attendance in the meeting and for you to have the power and will to get the most from it. It starts by writing on your agenda, indicating who the attendees are, and then an area to sketch. This here is so important to meeting planning. When you look at this agenda, what does it mean for you in your role? What are the questions that you have to answer? What are some of the questions that you may be asked that you have to have answers to? Being able to use the sketchboard to give you a better sense of how that meeting looks is going to give you a better framework and make you better prepared to be in attendance. From here, you can write down any additional tasks that came your way, updates on projects, a space for notes, and then an area that I find that is really important is when the meeting is finished, what was accomplished? How could you improve it? What will make the difference? And were you on track? Ultimately, what are your action steps and follow-up in the meeting? The project page are redesigned for 2023 after getting a lot of great feedback. Again, we had an area that we kept, which is a sketchboard, a place where you can take notes, wireframe, doodle, make notes, and basically be able to collaborate on what is taking place in the project in the current state. What is the overall theme and planning of the project? What are current notes that you want to discuss? And where are we at with the timeline and objectives? If you have different objectives that are taking place throughout the project, what are they and how do they overlap? And what is the timeline of those projects? From there, we have tasks and assignments, who are they assigned to, the due dates and objectives, and then next steps in the project. What I find with this project page through the redevelopment of it is we're able to look at it more as an activity board and not just a summary of what's taking place. The budgeting page has been with us for 2 years now. This is a space where you can actually dig in and look at your budget at a micro level. What is the vision for your budget in this month? What is your budget plans? What is your goals for this month? And then an area where you can write out your accounts, savings, checking, cash, credit cards, loans, and then look at your income versus your expenses as well as your daily expenses so you can determine a budget, an actual cost, and a difference that'll help you govern each and every single month as you move forward. The business series introduces the professional builder, and the tools there help you build that framework along your journey throughout the coming year. Now, all the tools in the professional and personal planner are in this planning system as well. Right here, we're looking at the professional builder. Now, when I built the professional builder, the goal with this was to have a one-page business plan that help you not only give you a framework for your goals and activities over the next few years, but be able to have a one-page business plan. I had a mentor once tell me that if you can develop a business plan, that will give you some insight on your ability to find career success. I've done many business plans over the years, and I've learned that as I go through the process of writing them, I learned something about myself, my business, my role, and the things that I need to do to find success. But they're hard, they're challenging, and sometimes we lose stride before we have an opportunity to complete them. So I want to have a one-page plan that would give each and every one of us the opportunity, who has never had the opportunity to build a business plan, being able to do that with a professional builder. We start by focusing on what is our vision. We indicate what is the challenges that we're currently facing. What are some of the key resources that we have to us? Now, the reason why that is so important, you did not get to where you are today because you didn't have any resources. Everyone has talents, and by utilizing those strengths, you will find success. We just need to find out how we take those strengths and plug them in to your daily life so that you can reach the vision you have for yourself. Next, we talk about our key values. These are the fundamental core beliefs that we have for ourselves and our organization. Key vitals are the measurements and the procedures that we have to ensure that there is some type of measurement and accountability in our own goals as well as our organization. And ultimately, what is our 10-year target? If we continue to go down this road, what does it mean for us in the next 10 years? And through it all, what is our absolutes? Absolutes are so important because by having a strong absolute, you know when you need to make right turns and adjustments to your path. Because if you're not hitting the mark, you need to make an adjustment. And this here helps you determine what that mark should be. From here, we talk about what is our accountable actions, what is your role, and what is your accountability in your own success. What patterns and processes can you build into your daily and weekly planning that are going to help you achieve this vision? And from there, what is the most important goals we have in the first 3 years of our journey? And lastly, and most importantly, is the organizational impact. So many people, as they begin to grow, they start to see success. And what happens is they start to plateau. Well, that plateau occurs because we haven't understand what adaptations we need to make as an organization. If you wanted to grow by 12%, but didn't think about how that 12% growth impacted your order department, your fulfillment department, the widget processing department, your creative team, it's going to have some type of toll on your continued growth. And by able to indicate what that organizational impact is and determine what reaction and what triggers will be made to make some type of organizational adaptation is going to be so important to you. And it's so fun to talk to people about your vision and the goals that you have from it, and by achieving those goals, how you can start to build change in the organization. Nobody likes change, but when they see the success of the organization and the change that surrounds it, everyone is more willing to move together. As we worked on the professional builder this last year, so many people asked us for more process improvement pages that helps us move through that professional builder, and we did that. The yearly progress page is the progress page we added new in 2023. This page is really designed for people that are in the business or executive level. What it does, it helps us understand our goals that we have for each quarter, the boulders, and where we're at with those activities. What is the progress? What is our accountability, and how are we making process improvements in our routine? And where are we at with our vitals, goals versus results, and what is the next step? It's a great dashboard that we've added in those series to help people get a quick look at where the direction of the organization is going from where they started with in the beginning of the year. First one that we built was the boulder breakdown. It's an area where you now can help indicate what is the challenge, How is it impacting our organization, ourselves? What previous attempts were made to try to move past that challenge? What is the long-term risk by not addressing that boulder? Whom does it concern? Who are the parties that it matters to? And whom does it affect? From there is a notes section for discussions to help you understand from the beginning to where you're at now, so that you move into a planning board, you're better prepared to start to plan out what it looks like and feels like to overcome that boulder. What is your role in that plan? What are the action steps and who's involved in them? And what does it mean for your success? And then from there, where does your organization, yourself, turn to? What is the next steps in your plan? In addition to the boulder breakdown, we wanted to be able to add a page that helped you look at those strengths, determine those talents that you had, and how you enrolled those into accountable actions. Also, we wanted to know, was there organizational strengths versus staffing strengths that made your organization unique? And how does these strengths change the expectations in the results? And what strengths can you use to overcome some of the boulders that you're facing? We added in what our focus, forward, and routine planning segments are to this system, as well as an action plan, an area for notes, and what is your role as the organization leader in finding and utilizing your strengths. I talk to so many businesses about their success, and one of the things that really excites me is to talk about what adaptations they're instituting in their organizations. As we grow and start to achieve success, we have to take additional action, and this helps you do that. What is the impact of your success? Let's identify it. How is it impacting your organization? Who does it concern, and who does it affect? Let's talk about the planning and the next steps through it, and then what is the adaptation for our organization, and what triggers us to move forward on those adaptation. An area for creating an outline and writing out your notes, and a place for you to identify your responsibility and summary in the organizational process of improvement. The expense tracker is a tool that we use to help you capture receipts, indicate what those receipts were, if they were tied to a job or a billable item, if there's something that you needed to remit, and then being able for you to track if they were approved or reimbursed or whatever notation you want. In here, there's also a master list that allows you to write out each of the expense logs for the entire month, and this gives you a good look or a good view on where you're at when it comes to your expense tracking. Now that we look at the executive edition, you're going to see all the tools from the previous editions come to life. When we designed the executive edition, I wanted it to be something that you, as that leader, would not only be able to take the framework of your business and interject those into your daily routines, but I wanted you to be able to pull together a team and help raise the individuals that you work alongside and get them involved. We added a team builder in here that helps you organize your team, be able to sit down with the members of your team, help determine and structure what their goals are and what their role and routines are in your organizational success. This here is designed for the executive that's looking to reach beyond themselves and grow an organization, institution to new levels that you haven't been able to reach before. In the executive planner, we added our organizational chart. This is the first page and template used to help you grow out your team. Starts by organizing what your organization looks like, what staffing boulders you have, what staffing strengths exist in your organization, what are the impacts of your staffing on the organization. Is there any missing seats that you have identified? What areas of your business are growing? Maybe your marketing department is growing and you need to have more staff or more flexibility there. Dividing roles. Is there areas of your organization where one employee is taking on two different roles and you need to work to grow that space? And lastly, what is new positions that you want to grow and start to develop and expand on in your organization? And a space for you to write out that plan for how it will be signaled throughout the year in front of you. The individual builder page is one that I'm most excited to show people in this year. It is a page that I feel is going to be so important for you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a manager, as someone that's not only growing yourself, but needing the growth of the people around you to help find your success for your team and organization. It starts by identifying who that employee, who that individual is. What is their career vision? What is it that they want to see from what that is that they're doing? What is their absolutes? When I have a conversation with someone about what their real absolute goals are or necessities from this job, it gives me the opportunity to help me understand if they're in the right space doing the right things. What boulders do they face? What resources do they have in front of us? What do they value? What is their fundamental beliefs? And how do we measure their success and productivity? By identifying this with employees, each employee knows how you measure them, you will find that the things that need to get done are getting done first. From here, we move over to establishing what is the goals for them in their role over the next 3 years. By having some type of growth plan, you're going to find staff more motivated, and they can also start to see how they work into the individual pieces and components of the organization's plan. What is their accountable actions, and what routines will they be developing on, and what key objectives will they be taking on, and what is the progress as we move forward. When you look at this individual team builder, you can jump back to the team page, and you'll also see under each team member, we added a boulder and a strength page, so you can help identify the boulder that matters most or the current focus that you have for them at this time, as well as you have the ability to help grow and identify a strength that you want to utilize in the organization. So guys, that was a full look at the Key to Success Planning System. If you found anything useful in this entire video, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like our channel. We continue to cover not only e-paper and e-reader devices, but just tech in general, everything from productivity apps to journaling to different techniques to help improve your digital planning experience. One thing I want to quickly touch on, because we haven't covered in this book, is if you want to move forward with some type of planning system, you can do that, and it's very easy to import. Now, you can hop on our chat and talk to our friendly staff. We also have a walkthrough guide on our website. But when it comes to putting this planner on your system, you will get a download link. You'll download that file onto your computer, and then you'll go to Send to Kindle. And when you do that, you'll actually drop in the file itself right in the web browser. It's going to go ahead and process and sync that file right over to your device. In a matter of a few minutes, you'll be up and ready to go, and you can start your guys' planning journey. If you guys have any questions, hit the comments below. Someone, myself, or in the community, I'm sure will be happy to answer all the different ideas, thoughts, and questions you may have about digital planning, about the Kindle, or even questions about other devices. So with that being said, guys, I'm Brandon Bonhoeffer. I hope you guys all had a good time here as we went through this planning system and learned a little bit about the Kindle Scribe. With further ado, God willing, we'll see you guys in the next video.